Water and air pollution. Water pollution refers to the introduction of a substance to the environment at level to loss, beneficial use of a resource, or degradation of the health of humans, wildlife, or ecosystems. Pollution may be caused by point sources at stationary locations such as an effluent pipe or non-point sources such as land runoff and the atmosphere. Main pollutants. Organic waste. Organic matters in water are composed of organic compounds. Certain organic matters in water are a source of food for aquatic microorganisms that use dissolved oxygen to convert the organic matter into energy for growth and carbon dioxide and water. The microorganism pollution increases in proportion to the amount of organic matters. If microbial metabolism consumes dissolves oxygen faster than atmospheric oxygen can dissolve into the water, oxygen deficit will occur and aquatic life may die when oxygen is depleted by microbial metabolism. Suspended solids. Solids in water may come from mining activities, river, dredging, construction, and soil erosion. Nutrients. Nutrients in water encourages plant growths. Those nutrients come from domestic, industrial, and agricultural waste. Diffuse pollution from agricultural waste is a major source of nutrients, especially nitrogen. Nutrient-enriched water is more productive with excessive biological activities, and water quality is usually significantly degraded. Thermal pollution. It changes the natural temperature regime of a water system, and the affected ecosystem could be stresses. Some aquatic species may die or are forced to relocate. Toxic metals. They are metals that form poisonous soluble compounds, pathogens, and carcinogens. Those are disease-causing microorganisms or cancer-causing substances including bacteria, viruses, protozoa, dioxin, etc. Radioactive contamination refers to an unintended or undesirable presence of radioactive materials in water, usually from the leakage of stored radioactive materials or release from nuclear power plants accident, etc. Water pollution indicators. Oxygen saturation, the maximum amount of oxygen dissolved in water at a given temperature. Biochemical oxygen demand, or also called BOD, the amount of oxygen required by microorganisms to break down into organic matters. Chemical oxygen demand, or also called COD, measures organic matters which are both biodegradable and non-biodegradable. Hence, it covers a more broad spectrum of organic matters. Wastewater treatment. Wastewater treatment plants receive inflows from domestic, commercial, agricultural, and industrial users. Storm water runoff and infiltration. Domestic wastewater is commonly treated in municipal wastewater treatment plants. A main purpose for wastewater treatment is to control pollution of a receiving water body. The treatment units include pre-treatment, primary treatment, secondary treatment, tertiary treatment, disinfection, and sludge treatment. Pre-treatment: to remove coarse solids using screening, to remove grits using grit chambers, to remove fats and greases using flotation, and to maintain a stable flow using an equalization basin. Primary treatment: to remove solids through gravity settling using settling tanks. Conglomerate can be added at this stage to improve its effectiveness. Secondary treatment: to remove dissolved organic matters using microorganisms. The most common biological treatment system is the activated sludge process. Tertiary treatment, mainly to remove nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus. It has been found that 90% of the total nitrogen and 75% of the total phosphorus from household effluent are found in urine, and dual sewer system to hand separate urine and feces would help to reduce the cost in removing them in the combined wastewater. Disinfection, to treat and store the sludge from the treatment process. Disposal, the watered sludge may be buried in a landfill, incinerated, applied to agricultural land. Natural treatment system. Wetlands are an alternative wastewater treatment method. A wetland uses a saltwater air vegetation environment to treat wastewater. Septic tank. A septic tank is a small-scale sewage treatment system in areas with no connection to main sewage pipes, usually in suburbs and small towns as well as rural areas. Air pollution. The Earth is surrounded by gases called air, which forms the atmosphere. The atmosphere is a complex, dynamic, natural system essentially to support the life on Earth. The air interacts with water and land. Acid rain falling on the ground is a result of air pollution. Many pollutants, such as particulate matters, heavy metal, and ozone, are able to influence water quality and ecosystem functions. On the other hand, polluted rivers or lakes and sewage can cause air pollution. These are the composition of air.
This is a table showing the composition of dry air. Structure of the atmosphere. Here shows the atmosphere that is divided into several layers based on temperature profiles. Troposphere. It ranges from 9 km at the poles to 17 km at the equators. This layer is heated by energy transfer from the ground surface, and temperature decreases with altitude. It contains 80% of the atmospheric mass and 99% of its water vapor. Stratosphere. It extends from tropopause to about 50 km, in contrast to the troposphere. The temperature here increases with height due to the increased absorption of ultraviolet radiation by the ozone layer. Mesosphere. This is from 50 km to 80 km with its temperature decreasing in height. Thermosphere. It ranges from 80 km to 350 km. This air is very thin here and stable with increasing temperature. Air pollutants. Air pollution is the introduction of a substance in the air harmful to human and the environment, which may be natural or man-made. Pollutants can be solid, liquid, or gaseous. The human health impact caused by air pollution may include difficulty in breathing, wheezing, coughing, and aggravation of existing respiratory and cardiac conditions, which are reflected in increased medication use and many more. Major pollutants: nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, particulate matter, ground level ozone, carbon monoxide. Emission estimation and control. Emission is the amount of pollutant a source releases into the air. Emission rate is expressed as mass per time. Emission rate and pollution composition can change with time. Air pollution are sources from four main types. Point source, single, identifiable source of air pollutant emissions. Line source, one-dimensional source of air pollutant emissions. Area source, two-dimensional source of air pollutant emissions. And volume source, three-dimensional source of air pollutant emissions. 5 methods of quantifying air pollutant emissions: direct measurement, mass balance, process modeling, emission factor modeling, expert judgment. That's all for our report. Thank you.